we're going to start. So I'm going to say hello, a big warm welcome, and thank you very much for, well, hello to Dale, hello to Sylvie, the other Sylvie without an E, and for welcoming us back. And thank you for taking a little bit of time out from your very, very busy schedules. Now, last week we had about 15, and we started a really, really good journey about going online. So we thought we'd take that a step further. And what I'd like to do is we're going to start talking about, well, first of all, Liz is going to talk about what we did last week, just a bit of a recap.
Yeah. Shall I kick off with that? So,
yeah, go on.
Last week, obviously, we were talking about how to shine online. But if we're going to go online, we need to work out why we're going online, rather than just say, I'll set up a Facebook profile for my business or LinkedIn profile. So last week, we were talking about the fact that there are trillions spent online each year by men, by ladies of all ages, in all countries, in pretty much all sectors, consumer goods, food, services. And we also talked about how we can mix online and face-to-face in the same business. And before CV-19 or coronavirus or whatever you'd like to call it, we were talking about what social media trends were like before this bug came along and hit. So there were daily stories on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp users. You know, WhatsApp is owned by Facebook now. WhatsApp hit 500 million each in 2019. And we talked about how internet video traffic is likely to quadruple by 2020 from what it was in 2017. We talked about how live video far outperforms and is much easier to use than videos that we pre-produce, because you don't have to edit them, upload them, export them. Now, did you know that 75% of people, even slightly more than 75, watch normal videos without sound, and they put the subtitles on? Because obviously, if you're sitting in the train, I don't know, commuting into London or Paris or wherever.
Sorry, user error. Sorry, my fault. I'm sorry. Sorry. I just
I'm ignoring it
to see what happened. And yeah, right, okay. Well, this looks really good, doesn't it? Right, ladies, just carry on for one moment, because I can't find the mouse.
Well, we'll leave you to find mouse here.
Yeah. Can I
on
just
for a little bit?
Sorry.
That's all right. Don't worry.
No.
So
the wrong way.
75% of people watch videos without any sound, and nearly 3 out of 10 businesses either plan or already have a social commerce plan or are going to implement them over the next year. Now, those were statistics we found from about 6 months ago. Imagine now what that's going to look like. We also talked about which platforms to consider for your target market. Just running through a few of them briefly, we looked at Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and we looked at which you should use to target males, females, different age groups. Are you looking at targeting the 20s and the 30s or slightly older age group? So Facebook, for example, with over 1.3 billion users, is really great in terms of looking at which site for which purpose as well. Really great for building relationships. Twitter, we looked at with over 60 million users, which is great for PR, for public relations. During the CV-19, without wishing to labour that too much, a lot of companies are using that to message their clients about what they're doing. We're still open, we're still producing, we're etc., etc. Pinterest, with 70 million users, is very good for lead generation in certain industries. So if you're in the clothing industry, art, we had Nicola last week.
She's due this week. I don't know where she is, bless her, but yeah, carry on.
No, I thought she was coming.
Yeah, she was.
So Pinterest is pretty good, again, often for industries where you can be visual. So if you've just launched a business-to-business software tool, Pinterest is not going to be your best platform to show it off on. YouTube, 1 billion users. Often YouTube is used to search how to do something. So if you are a brand new yoga teacher, obviously, you know, yeah, get on and film yourself doing a yoga class. If you want to show that you're the best yoga teacher on the planet, put a video on YouTube, how to do yoga.
Shoot. Okay.
LinkedIn, 600 million users, very, very business to business oriented. So again, if you're B2B, business to business, rather than targeting consumers, LinkedIn, we talked about as being a very useful tool to develop your business.
Cool.
Instagram, just running very quickly through the last 200 million users. Again, Instagram, very graphic. If you're opening a food business again, you can show up your latest dishes. It's very much pictures, a young audience. Google Plus, say you are launching a new online game targeted at males. Google Plus has a fairly young audience, 25 to 34. It's very tech oriented and it's very male oriented. So that will be a good one for launching that.
I just add in there, Google, by the way, it's not only Google Plus. I don't know why they've just mentioned that there, because local Google that we all use, you know, where is your nearest pharmacy? Where is your nearest, well, for me, it's tobacco, or whatever else. It's the actual SEO and the location search. If you are a local business that wants local clients, Google is great.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's one of the few ones that you can get that precise. Well, you can with Facebook, but you know, it's also in the same ilk as that. So sorry, Liz, just easy to add.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're quite right. It's a very good point. Google's a hugely useful tool.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, one of the biggest search engines out there. So everybody's on Google and can nip into Google and has got calendars in Google.
Well, you've got Google on, you know, whether it be Bing or Chrome site or, you know, or Chrome or whatever. It's pretty like out there in a big way. And what we want to do now is talk to you a little bit about, sorry, where's page? Sorry, I'm sorry about my slides. I'm sorry, I've had a bit of an issue. Sorry about this. Okay. So also last week, we looked at, we did a bit of an online health check, and the lovely Nolag was a bit of a guinea pig, which was hysterical. And she was really game for it, because we wanted to know what you looked like online. What was your offer? What was your message that you were giving to people? Who saw it? And what do you actually share? And Z's just said, well, I'm waiting for today before I do anything else, because I'm sure there's more. And, you know, this is a big, long topic. But what we found out was that having your own content, having your own authentic personality, brand come out, was put you on top of all the search engines. Every Facebook, every LinkedIn, everything. And at the same time, a few people wanted to talk about training and educational platforms. There were about 5 people. That's quite heavy for, yeah, the small people we had online. I know quite a lot about that area because I spent the last 4 months, well, sorry, last year, working on it, and then spent the following 6 months trying to work it all out. And one thing that you can't get away from with online courses, whether you're writing them, selling them, delivering them, whatever you're doing, you've already got to have an audience. And most people think they can write a course. Yeah, cool. You know, they've got the expertise, they know their topic. Are they sure of the market? Not always. Are they sure of who they're going to sell it to and who's going to buy it? No. And so, for example, Cindy, I mean, if you have to leave, there's a chunk at the end of the video, or this thing about online courses, because we wanted to add that in. But there's a real big chunk that comes before it. And that's something that we needed to discuss now, which was, oh, that easy. When you've got such a massive ocean out there, and the online world is, there's no doubt about that. How are you going to find your clients? Well, it's up to you to find them. Do you think, realistically, they're going to come and find you? The days of having, you know, a bit of a website, or, you know, 2 posts on a Facebook page, and they're going to flock to you are over. If, for example, 500 million stories are flooding, you know, the Ethernet out there at any given time, then how are they going to pick yours? And that's what we get down to, which goes back to training and online courses, is what's your niche? And I don't mean generically, what's your niche? I mean, really, what's your niche? Who do you serve? What do you offer? Why are you different? What's going to make you the expert, the authority, the one that stands out day after day after day? And Sylvie, well, I'm sure will wave and agree with that. If you're not super specific, and I mean super specific, we all think, oh yeah, well, we can sell to everybody. Well, we can, but have you tried fishing in a big ocean and you've got one little rod and one tiny little string? Who is going to take the bait? If you've got bait at the end of that rod that is for, all right, fat fish with orange hair, they've got green scales, and they only eat lichen, for example. Don't know where that came from. Okay, but you get the principle that unless you are super specific about what you can do, how much of an expert you are at that, nobody's going to listen.
No.
No, they won't. Because, and like now, more than ever, you go online and it's like, I mean, the noise is phenomenal. But, I mean, you know, I'm just looking at the faces that I love and see here. And I think, well, you know, if you were selling Blur, very, very tiny, there's millions who are going to buy into that, but they've got to find you. But you've got to find them. So it's that match where it's your niche and your ideal client. Okay. And we're not talking about, oh, well, you know, they sort of live somewhere in Europe and, you know, the list goes on. So Liz, can you talk us a little bit through about what we're doing here? Why and how we're targeting with the niche?
Yeah, definitely. So imagine you are going to sell, let's say, a training course. As Jane said, you know, if you were to say, I'm going to sell a training course for, I don't know, anything, any sort of training course, that the market is huge. I mean, you've got millions and billions of people you could be targeting, but you have a specialist skill set. Okay, so I'm, for example, from a marketing background, and if I want to work with a particular market, what can I do? What do I do well? Well, I've got a musical background like Cindy. I've also spent some time in software. Obviously, those two markets seem to be completely separated. They're not. There's software to help you learn music now. And I've done some work, for example, for a company that produce software to help you learn the piano. So you take music, you take software. I've done work in engineering. These are all markets that I have experience in. I know how to talk to these people. Do you know how to talk to your niche? If you're choosing a niche that you rather fancy working with, you need to research them, find out what they're looking for, find out how to talk their language.
Okay, well, let's just go back a minute, because if you're looking and saying, oh, well, I can help A, B, C, D, Z, 12, 14, 16. For a start, you've got to narrow it down. So take it down to 4 or 5. Really, really key niches that are your niches. Okay. And how do they become your niches? Well, they're the ones where you've got the experience, where you can sit there and say, well, you know, hey, I've done that for 20 years. And I've put on here, don't be shy. Because, you know, I was speaking to a lovely client the other day and she was like, oh, well, I've only done it for like, I said, how many years? She said, 20. Oh, right, okay. She said, no, but, you know, lots of people can do that.
Yeah, and what,
yeah, but not with 20 years of experience.
No, and you've got to write this down, because I think we often don't realise how much experience we really do have. And we don't necessarily want to realise as we get older, but we need to list our skill sets. We need to put pen to paper, and we need to put our achievements down. Our achievements can be in past roles. You can adapt the way you sell these things when you're talking to clients. But what results did you get for your client? Yeah, we often, and I think we're all guilty of this sometimes, we write down what we did for companies. I went and did such and such for company ABC. What did you achieve for them? Yeah. If you were doing marketing for them, for example, did you achieve an increase in turnover? Did you help them attract new distributors? If you were like Cindy, doing, I don't know, training, team building courses through music, what did you achieve in terms of the team building? What were the results for the client? And we need to boast. We need to have a brag sheet of what our achievements were, so that the minute we're asked, the minute we're putting an online post, we'd say, I did that, and be proud of it.
Yeah, well, because it all builds together. And we'll talk about what we're doing about posting a bit more next week. But in the meantime, when you've got your niche, sorry, let me just go back a minute, sorry. Yeah, so we've got the 5 niches that you want to work with, or you're thinking of working with. On each one, so you've got those at the top, okay, 5 columns. And at the top, you're going to write what skills you have to contribute with your experience, your expertise, your authority, all those years maybe that have added up under each column. So if, for example, you've been able to help secretaries get good PA jobs, don't know, whatever. What experience? Column 1. If you've helped managing directors become better leaders, column 2. Yeah? So you take it for your industry and then you write it down. And then you take column 1, column 2, and you list the problems and the fears and the desires that you think each of those will have in that particular niche. Now, this isn't you guessing it. And we all want to guess, and we all think, I know that, I can do that. Well, do you know what? Maybe you can't. Maybe it's a guess. Maybe you need more proof of concept.
Definitely.
And I don't know about you, and I'm sure Sylvia will back me up on this. The times we've all known consultants and coaches, particularly, who've hopped around from niche to niche to niche. Probably they haven't stayed long enough in each niche, by the way, to see if it works or not. But they didn't do enough research at the beginning. Everybody wants, and we all do. I'm guilty. I want a quick buck. Well, I did. Giving up on that one. I want the result. I want to know I can, serve that market. Well, what if that market doesn't want me? Or that market is almost imaginary.
Yeah, because markets change a lot, don't they? Especially with the evolution of technology. There are a number of industries which change very fast. So we need to make sure that our research we're doing...
It's not just that, Liz. I have to say, it's what we think we know about the market. We think we know the market. We think we know. We may have known something from, particularly if you're a bit older like me, 10 years ago. What's happening today? Now. The people who are buying now are probably younger than all of us in the room. Yeah, maybe Sylvie's in the list. What do they want? How do they want to be approached? It's not what we think anymore that matters.
No, and it's not how we were sold to. Mm.
No, that was, sorry, we were sold, that was 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
We're 2 generations beyond that.
Yeah.
And unless you take that on board and say, well, do you know what? I guess I need to change. I guess I need to open my head. Look at what's happened in the last 2 months. If we don't open up now and think differently, we're all going to, just basically drown. And
Totally.
That's everybody, not just anybody on this call, by the way, but you know what I mean. The world has changed. So we have to keep up to date. Sorry. What we thought was relevant 20 years ago, it seriously isn't at all. So is it your turn now, Liz, or is it still me?
I think it's my turn, Jane, actually.
Oh, right, there you go, sweet. Oh, sorry,
we can do it together if you like.
Oh, let's do it. Like this, yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
Sisters.
So,
sorry.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Who's the fairest of them all?
So we need to look and say to ourselves, what's our experience? So anybody, if you were to say, what's my experience? Can you give us some ideas? Can you write something in the chat?
We can do chat. You can unmute because we're a lovely, small, intimate little gang.
You disabled the chat.
Yeah, chat is not working.
Really?
Oh.
Shit. Sorry, language. Oh, God.
Yeah, then we'll do it. If everybody can unmute.
Yeah, sorry, if we're going to get technical. I thought I sorted it all out. All the glicks from last week, which were self-induced. Okay, the chat.
Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe I'll move forward and Z's chat's okay.
Yeah, no, there you go. You can all chat. You should be able to chat. Hold on, you should pause more. Where's chat gone?
Yeah, my chat's okay.
Can you chat now?
No, Dale can't.
No. Hang on. I can now.
Oh, there you go.
Great.
I'd like to say it wasn't user error. I will get the hang of this. But anyway, talk. There's only a few of us.
Yeah.
What's
would you
your
say?
experience?
Mm.
Cindy?
Okay.
Or somebody? Dale?
Okay.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Sorry, Sylvia.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your experience? So when we're talking about looking at your niche, what is experience are you going to add to your niche?
So Cindy says she taught music in a war zone in Kuwait. She's original. Taught music in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
And was an exchange student to India at age 16. So hugely international experience.
Cool. How do we
Very
relate
nice.
that, Cindy, to now? I can't find the chat, by the way. I've lost the chat. Oh, God. Sorry.
I
Not
don't
to
know.
worry. I'll tell you if there's anything pops up.
All right. Thanks,
It
darling.
seems like it should be worth something, but I don't know how.
I think it should be worth a lot, but I think you need to be broader about it.
How?
Well, I have to say, just like, Liz said, it's international. Who can you help with your experience?
Anybody who's living in a second culture.
Yeah, but a lot of people do now. There's 4 million in Dubai for a start. So that's not really it's not what it used to be. That's the difference. And I'm sorry, but that's actually a good example of how the world has changed. Because when you did it, I think, when was that, darling?
Well, I went to live in India in 1973.
Yeah. So we're talking 21 years ago. Sorry.
1973.
Oh my Lord, that's even longer.
50 years ago. 50 years ago, darling.
Sugar puffs. The word that first came to mind, can I just say, wasn't sugar puffs. Look, what happened 50 years ago and you did it was awesome. People are doing it every day now, love.
How about being a pioneer?
They're still doing it every day.
Not everybody's a pioneer every day.
Yeah, no, they are. See that? Sorry, because the thing is, you've got so many other talents that the fact you've actually highlighted that one is great because it's the one that least transfers forward. And that's a great example of where we go, this is what I used to do. And you have to go, actually, you look around. 2.5 million people moving in and out of Dubai every year, Cindy. There's 223 nationalities alone.
But they're doing it today. The difference is when I did it, I was a pioneer. And how can people be pioneers today?
Probably by staying at home. Yeah. Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, Sylvia has said, help people overcome limiting beliefs,
Cool.
become more confident, and deal with stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
And she said also to help people move their online business to the next level using organic marketing strategies.
Yeah.
Which is great. In all that, Sylvia, what would you say is your USP, your unique selling point, unique selling proposition? What have you got that the competitors haven't? That's the next thing we're looking at today. We've got our experience and then our USP. Why us?
Yeah, that is a great question. Yeah. I still didn't answer this question.
It's the $1 million question that people will ask you. Why you? Are you cheaper? Are you just so much better and you've got something to prove it? You've got the stats or an experience that will prove that you've Just
Actually,
boil the competition out.
Actually, I have my own experience. Of course, I have some proof from my clients as well, but the most are my experience, what I went through in life, how I was dealing with difficult situation, with stress, with depression, with anxiety on myself. And of course, the strategy what I was using on myself doesn't need to be working on my clients, but you know, I learned how to overcome this kind of stuff on my own, and I think I can help other people even find different strategy to help them.
You see, this is a good example of life, your life. You're telling your own life story, which is huge at the moment. People do that. They love that. They love it when people are vulnerable, when they put themselves out there as who they are. They're genuine. So that's great. That's a good tool to use.
Sylvia,
Yes.
how can you make it better though?
How can I make this better?
Sorry, this is a bit naughty because I know Sylvia, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely fine. You know, always it's nice to practice this because niche is so
It's huge.
so difficult.
We know
so
it's huge,
difficult
and
to
particularly in
choose.
our industry.
Yeah, some people they can choose niche they can choose niche very easily, but some is quite difficult, quite challenging. So the question, how I can do? Okay. Let me think.
Okay, well, all right. Let's start with a few things. Experience. You've just talked about that. Your USP and key factors. Okay,
Yes.
cool. Your life. What nationality are you?
Sorry, what?
What nationality are you?
Polish, Poland. I'm
Polish.
from Poland.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where do you live?
At the moment, in England, in UK.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So the changes. So I can say my story. So
Yeah.
I came to England without English. I didn't speak English at all. I started actually when I came to England. I started from being a cleaner, and then I was moving forward, just saying my story.
But Sylvia,
and
that's the
inspire
first
people.
time I've ever heard that.
Really? You don't read my posts?
I do. Listen, sorry, we're not having a domestic.
Joking. I know.
Okay.
I know. That
Who
was in
could
my
use? Sorry,
that
it's
was
a
in
good
my first
example,
post,
Sylvia.
don't worry.
But who can use the fact they're a different nationality and they live in a foreign country? Who can use that? See,
Actually, everyone can use
Cindy,
it.
Everyone on the call.
Veronique,
Everyone.
you're actually French, but Veronique,
I
you're
am.
working with people in New Zealand and Australia.
Yes.
Okay, did
Yes,
you live
I'm working
there?
with New Zealand and Russia,
And
Uh-huh.
wow,
and probably Côte d'Ivoire. I don't know how you say it.
Côte d'Ivoire.
Ivory
Côte
Coast.
d'Ivoire.
Yeah.
Ivory Coast.
Cool. So suddenly we've got, 9 of us on the call or whatever, and we've all got something that I have to say, not everybody else has got.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, and that's in like 1 second. And none of us have actually gone, cooey, and all right. I've looked at expat coaching, for example, another bloody big ocean. But can I add it? Like Sylvia, can you add it to what you do so you can coach Polish people in the UK? Of course you can.
Yes, of course. I can coach everyone.
No, we don't. No, but you can't coach everybody.
No.
Too many.
I mean, from my niche. So, for example, I don't need to focus only on people who are foreign.
But why
so-
don't you? Because then
Sorry?
you're unique. This
Yes.
is the thing where we've got the bit about USP. So, Cindy, how many Americans live in Dolce Aqua? 1. Okay. Bit of a niche market going on there. See, how many of you live where you live and have done your journey?
Mhm.
Just me.
Just you.
Mm.
Dale.
Yes, my lovely.
Hello. Oh, cute. Oh, she's lovely. My lovely. And we like her. She's on the Christmas card list. How many of you are there?
Of me, there's only me.
Exactly. None of us have gone, hey, we're really good at being us. Cindy tried, bless her, and I shot her down in flames because it was too old. But you were a pioneer. But I just got this vision of the hat and the big leather pants. It's not working. But where we are a pioneer now, today, nobody celebrated or sung that, have they? If you add it, if you add that to what you do, yeah, then you're unique. Then you've got an even extra USP. There's always a way of making it. Cindy, you're the same. I'm the only.
I think it's important, even though you think it's outdated. I do think it's important as a background because
no, I'm not saying it's not important, love.
Because today everybody is a pioneer because we are all in a new world. So all of us with our past experiences of being pioneers, I think we have something to say because everybody now is in a new world and we're all pioneers.
But how you, just like Liz was saying, how you package it and saying, I'm a pioneer. I was a pioneer, I wouldn't say 50 years, it makes you sound a bit like a postage stamp. I was a pioneer 40 years ago or whatever. I'm still a pioneer. You've brought it into today. I'm the only American in the village. Whatever. I'm a pioneer. And there's lots of other things, darling, that you're an amazingly good pioneer at. But you've got to make it current. And then it becomes sexy. And then people hear it. Because if you said just, and it's no disrespect, because you were a pioneer. Who was a pioneer 30 years ago? I was.
Yeah.
He was. Dale, I'm sure you were. You look quite plucky. Sylvia, I'm sure you were. You may have just been born, but I'm sure you were a pioneer, love. Liz. But you've got to make it current too, because you don't want to be an outdated pioneer. That's the issue with it, and that's the fact.
Cindy, I think there's a huge opportunity for you now. If you go back to the war zone, some people compare what we're going through now to a war. There could be a huge opportunity for you to do music online and be known through what's going on now. Get a load of musicians together and you conduct them virtually, like the Nice Opera did it the other night. And the conductor of Nice Opera, he got them all, they were all there on Zoom or whatever, and they performed, I can't remember which piece it was, but taking what you did in the war zone in Kuwait, bringing it into the current war zone we're in now, there's a great opportunity out there.
Could you send me that video? I didn't see it.
Yeah. It'll be on YouTube, love. Yeah. I think all of us, what we're trying to get at is, sorry, Dale, you wanted to say something.
I just wanted to get some clarity on what Cindy does, because I'm listening to the conversation.
Oh, Cindy, please, can you let us know what you do?
And you're talking about stuff that you've done before, and I actually have no context to
that's fair
piece
point.
it together and make any sense.
I'm an orchestra conductor.
Right. And do you, the people that you work with, is it always new and interesting things? Are you always looking for something that's different?
Yes, it's always new, and it's usually people I don't know before.
Right.
It's amazing.
So you are still doing pioneering if you're thinking about conquering new lands, new music, new areas to go in.
Yeah.
Right, just so I can piece it together in my head. Thank you.
I'm going to say thank you for that, Dale, because Cindy, when you talked about it and you talked about pioneering, it was in the past. And Dale's rightly, by the way, thank you, just brought it into the future and the current in a much more, vivid kind of way. So can everybody now see, for example, I mean, that's a very small example, how you can take a particular USP, so unique selling point, about your own circumstance and use it. Because we're trying to get, brownie points you know, what's different? What can we do? And at the end of it, we know whatever you enjoy doing, you're likely to be a lot more good at. So when we talk about all the niches and what you're going to do, and you're going to say maybe take 5, you're going to then bring them down. If you enjoy something with a passion, a real inner glow, and it makes you smile and you twinkle, you'll do well at it.
Yeah, it's vital. It's so, so important.
Huge. Who enjoys what they do?
Me.
Me? Sylvia, is that you in the dark, love?
Yes.
Cool. So if we enjoy it, are we going to give it more
Of course.
than somebody else? No, I'm just going to, because we're going to compare ourselves to the competition. Because that's, we've got to do that, girls, whether you like it or not. And if you enjoy it and you're there for it, how much better are you going to be at it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots.
Hugely better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hugely better. Unlike me on this. So when we're looking at all of that, so you take then what your niche is about, you look at the problems and desires. What do you serve? Well, the answer's at the bottom. Particularly at the moment, you serve their needs first, then their wants.
And that's extremely pertinent at the moment, isn't it?
Huge. Huge. If I just nicked your bit, probably. What page are you on? 9?
No.
it's fine. Okay, cool.
I'm just chipping in.
Sorry, yeah, no, that's good. Chip in. I didn't have much sleep last night for lots of reasons. None of them were sexually interesting, by the way. So I'm a little bit on another planet. So what you want, fine. Yeah, I want maybe a new lipstick. I'm sorry, I'm being frivolous, but you get the idea. I'd like a new blouse. What I need, you can sell to me every day. If I need it, even if it's part of what you do, is you're actually serving what somebody needs. You're going to build. Z does amazing things with facial reflexology. Part of what she does, it's part of what you do, Z, if you don't mind me saying, is a lifting technique. That's probably more of a want. Whereas the health stuff that you do, sorry to use the word stuff, but that's a need. Because people can't find an avenue within the normal health doctor consultant relationship that works. And Z meets a need and she heals in a very, meticulous, methodical, trained way. It's not like, Cindy's had it, I've had it, it's healing. But that was our need, wasn't our want. There's a difference. Sylvia, what would you deal with that is somebody's need rather than their want?
Regarding, needs, for example, they want to increase their happiness, they want to become more aware, so this is the want. They want.
Yeah, that's
so
a want.
What they need would be, so for example, improve their mental health, so remove their anxiety.
All right, is that a want or a need? What does everybody else?
That will be needs. That will be needs.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Overcome anxiety, for example.
Okay, girls, let's do a little. Do you mind, Sylvia, if we just do this for 1 minute?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it a want or a need? So improving mental health.
Yes.
Which is huge. Sorry, let's presume, by the way, we're not talking
general.
about.
Yeah, this is general. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking about people who've got seriously poorly. Is it a want or a need? If it's
I think
a want,
this is want. This is want, I think.
okay.
So I need to I think make this specific. So what they want, what they need to improve.
Yeah, need is different.
So for example.
Yes, Z. Sorry, can we just interject, Sylvia? Z.
So I would look at it that if people are suffering from mental health and they want to be happy, of course, they need to look at the root cause. That's how I would look at it and I would approach it. They need to look at the root cause and work towards eliminating, as you say, you know, if there is anything that is stopping them from being happy. So yes, to remove the stress and anxiety will eliminate a lot of, you know, the balancing and whatever, and then we can work towards happiness through that. But it is.
What's their need? I'm going to be devil's advocate here. The need. What's the need?
Need is to balance that person's equilibrium, their chemistry, their body. It's a whole package, but it is to reduce stress and anxiety.
What about the need to be able to function through the day?
That is part of it.
But it's tangible. Are you with me?
Mm.
If you say to somebody, or somebody says to you, I can't do blah, blah, blah. Okay, and I'm not happy. All right, I want to be happy. I want to be balanced. But what do I need? I need to be able to do a 10-hour working day, look after my kids, and function and smile. It's all about balance, but it's a different way. It's about, that's need, isn't it, as opposed to want.
Mm.
Does that, you see the difference? It may be words, but when you mark it online, and Sylvia will back me up on this one, the words are everything. Because that's all people see, isn't it? You know, you can be selling your service, Veronique. You can be selling an amazing product, but it's what they need that you sell to first. Then what they want.
Yeah, what is their pain? Yeah.
You know, exactly.
Exactly.
And, you know, when we go further down, which we're going to run out of time, I thought we were going to have masses of time for questions. I didn't get that far. But when we're on to who's your ideal client, it's what is their pain point? So, Veronique, for you, and this is very simplistic, and I don't mean to, for all of you, by the way, I'm trying to do little snippets of what you do so everybody else gets the picture. But, Veronique, if I was your client, I would need to have a product that got rid of the lines. What I want is to look a bit younger. But what I need the lines to go first. Are you with me? And then I'll feel fresher. Feeling fresher isn't a need, it's a want.
It's quite an interesting exercise when you watch TV adverts to look at some of these, you know, cosmetic adverts or whatever, and say what's the need and what's the want.
Sure.
It's quite an interesting thing to do as an exercise.
Huge. It's huge. So is this resonating? Is this making sense? Don't all jump up and down at once.
Yes, makes sense. Yeah.
Is it too tough? Because the online market is tough. You remember, you're this little tiny little fish swimming in a big ocean. You've got to have a clear message about what you do, what you deliver, what your niche is, who you're going to serve. And you know, Sylvia and I have both been through the journey where you think, oh no, it's too nice, it's too tight, no. Then I got to a point where I was like, oh my God, I'm not congruent with that. It wasn't comfortable for me. And I had to rethink it. You think, okay, now I'm comfortable.
And because it wasn't comfortable because that was the fear. There was the fear about this, yeah.
Sure.
I have the same, yeah.
Sure. And when we look at the ideal client, and I put it, would you date your client? Purely because it was a good post and I like it, and everybody got it. I don't mean literally. But if you're going to talk to me and you're going to say, for example, I want to do an online course. I want to sell this service to bleh. Can you tell me age, gender, if you've got children, what their frustrations are, what they do for holidays, what they do for relaxation, what they do for wellness? More importantly, how will they relate to you? My clients aren't going to be 18. I know I look very young. But we've all got to have clients that can relate to us. You can't see Sylvia, but she's considerably younger than I am. Her client base will be younger. You know, we've only chatted for 20 minutes. If they're not probably Polish or somewhere in that ilk, living in the UK, of a certain age, she's missing out on a niche. Isn't she?
Completely.
Veronique, if you're, for what, well, we can discuss this, you know, again, but if you're looking at working with what you're doing in Australia and New Zealand, and you're French, then obviously it's the French market in that area, because that's who you're going to relate to, and presumably you've lived there. I've just found the chat, I can't believe it. It's 2 minutes till the end, I've just found the chat. Anyway, but yeah, so if you get that, they've got to be able to relate to you and say what it's all about.
I have a little problem with this because I deal with children with special needs, and I teach the young parents to do the technique at home. I have people that are suffering from infertility and they come to me for hormonal balancing.
Yeah.
So they're young. I have people that suffering from the transition of hormonal going into menopause. I have much older people suffering from neurological issues, restless legs, they are retired. And I have very old ladies that come for facelifts.
But how do they relate to you?
They need help with their health.
Okay, sorry, let me 1 minute. They relate to you because you've got
I offer the therapy and I have got a solution for their problems.
Yes, you've got a solution.
You've got oodles of experience. You've got huge amounts of gravitas. You just exude competence. And if anybody was going to be trusted with somebody's health, it's you. Sorry, it wasn't relating regarding to age and gender. It relates, they're your clients.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and sorry, bearing in mind, these calls are generic. You know, we can't be specific for everything. But your clients need you. If your client wouldn't choose you if you were 18, just out of college, and had done a 6-week course.
Yeah.
They wouldn't, would they?
No.
No, so that's why they relate to you.
But there's also, you know, it goes deeper because there's a rapport, and, you know, people sometimes come, it's a little bit like if you're a psychologist, people shop for you.
Yeah, but that's why they relate
or
to
a coach, they shop for you. So it's got to be.
Sorry, the bit at the top, and I can't do the thingy. The bit at the top is about the client, not about you.
Mm.
Are you with me? That's the client. Everybody's client profile will be different as long as you know where you fit. Yeah, not you, but where your clients are.
No, I know that, but it's just that, you know, you say specializing. I can't do that because it's such a broad thing. So I can't sort of say, well, I'm going to do this because.
But you've already specialized, love, with what you do.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, because you're not a GP.
No.
You've specialised in terms of your service rather than in terms of your market segment.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that all automatically narrows it down.
Yeah.
So this is where it's everybody's journey, if you like, it's different. You know, Sylvie's a coach, I'm a coach, different. You know, Liz, you're doing, you know, international events, different. Dale, different. Z, different. We're all different.
What does Dale do? Dale, what do you do?
I do a couple of. Oh, sorry. I think one of my dogs is about to vomit. So what I do is around writing, but I do two very different things. So one is I help they are mostly female, mostly spiritual. They've all got a story, evidence-based, how-to. So I help people to write books. So my clients will come to me because they've been through something and they want to learn how to express that in the world so that they can make an impact. So for example, a client that I'm working with at the moment, her aim is to stop human trafficking. Her story is really quite fascinating, but most people that come to write books really don't believe that their story is worth anything. Her story is incredibly powerful. So we've got her story, we've got the thing that she wants to change in the world, we've got the science to back the addiction, and all of it weaves together quite wonderfully well. So I tend to get clients who have these most amazing things they want to bring into the world, and I kind of hold them through the process. But I'm very intuitive, very practical. I can often see what someone's book is before they even know what it is. So I can see inside your heart, your soul. But then I'm also immensely practical. So it's like, you got to do this, you got to write it like that. So I have a combination of hand holding and you need to do your homework. So that's one side of me. And then the other side of me is I write journaling books, but I write them with a difference. So I've been through loads of trauma in my life. So I write things very much from a healing perspective. I always laugh because I have masses and mountains of qualifications and I adore writing journaling books. So, but I also, and I teach online. So I teach people how to write books. I teach kind of like healing writing online. It's basically writing, anything to do with writing.
Oh,
sounds amazing.
Sounds good.
Oh, you and I might have a chat. I do nice little interviews. That'll be quite goody. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So, well, as always, we've not finished, but we're 9:05. So I'm very much aware of everybody's time. I just want to mention, because a few people will be watching this later, regarding online training courses, because 5 people mentioned it last time.
Yeah, they did.
And the difference is, I'm going to leave this slide on as probably our end slide, because the thank you one's just a wave. But because you've got to know your market, you've got to have a predetermined engagement to gain traction. If you go on to the numerous types of platforms that there are there, and, you know, bearing in mind, you go on to Udemy, for example, you can pay $10 for 5 hours of really, really good training, but they've sold 100,000 units, but they had probably 10,000 people to bring on board in the first place. And that's something where knowing your niche, knowing your client, building, which we're going to talk about next week, building your audience is huge.
Massive.
Whether it be online, face-to-face consultancy, whatever. How you get that engagement and that relationship, whether it be online, offline, doesn't matter. It's still a relationship. And nobody's going to buy off you unless they believe you and you're authentic and you've got gravitas and you know what you're talking about. And, you know, at the end of the day, you've got to be able to put a sentence together in any language. And that's when it gets real. That's when it becomes super sexy. And that's when we all take what we've got in our hearts and heads and marry the two together. And that's the only way it gets real, and that's the only way you're going to monetize it.
And be successful.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody got anything that they are wanting to contribute and add today? Because we're all right. We're sitting here. We're fine. I've got the end of my coffee. It's a bit cold, but I'm all right. Anybody else?
No, thank you. I'm going to just go through my notes, think about it, because I need to.
Yeah, no, you will, darling. And the replay will be online tomorrow.
Sorry?
The replay, and I may put the slides on separately as well, just because then you haven't got me totally. I'm sorry, yeah.
No, it was great. I've made a lot of notes.
Good.
And thank you for the input. And
well, do we all sing our uniqueness, which I think is one thing I've got from tonight, how unique everybody is and how you don't really like to sing about it, including me. Yeah, we all have to go, maybe, you know, but we've all got something totally unique that the person next to you hasn't got. Sylvia, sing about it. Yeah, and that will give us.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. And thank you for reminding this for us.
Well, Veronique, you're the same. Liz, you're the same. So are Yuzi. Cindy is. She's probably gone off in tears. I think I've upset her. But Dale, we've only just met you. You're certainly unique, and not in a nice way. Sorry. Oh, she doesn't know me. Help! Somebody bail me out. I've had no sleep. You've got to sing to your strengths. And where you are, ding, why not? You know, tell me, how many Polish coaches are there in your part of town?
A few.
Seriously?
They're not like you.
A few.
No.
I bet they're not like you, love.
But of course I am, the best one.
You and I need a chat. Seriously.
I am the unique one.
Exactly. Z, you're the only one. Liz, you're the only one. I know that.
Everyone is unique. Everyone is unique. We need to just find this amazing thing inside us and then show to people. Because every one of us has different experience. Yeah.
I'm just going to add to this. I'm normal. I'm nothing different, and I'm completely down the centre. Love it. Everybody went. No, but can I just point out, you've all got a great poker face, but everybody went, she's having a laugh. Seriously?
Yeah, but aren't we all our own normal?
Exactly. But when you're online and you're trying to sort of go, you're waving your head, aren't you, a bit above the parapet. You know, Veronique, you're in a competitive industry. You've got to go, me, and find a comfortable way for us all to do it. It's not about flag waving. It's not about Tony Robbins. It's not about Dale Carnegie or whatever it used to be. It's finding your own way, but just singing your own song.
Yeah, in a way that you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be yourself.
And a little bit more for the sake of the camera.
Yes. Yes.
I'm really 8 stone 4. Anyway, I'm just going to say thank you from me.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, everyone.
It gets madder, Sylvia, just to warn you.
Thank you, Sylvia and Dale, and lovely to see you, Jane and Liz. And
yeah, thank you, Veronique, for coming, and Sylvia, and me, and Dale, and Liz, and me, and Cindy, and I don't know where everybody else is. Well, I know about 6 of them are somewhere else. Somebody else got a bit of drinks offer, and obviously
they're all having cake and hot chocolate spiked with something.
Yes, I think the spiked bit is what's got it. Anyway, look, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Drop me a line, or Liz, if you want anything particular, because next week the plan is to talk about, what was it? I can't remember now. I did write it down. Honestly, seriously.
It's amazing. I love her so much.
No, so I've had 2 hours sleep. Well, seriously.
Okay.
And I'm not even joking.
Just yourself.
Yeah, no, I know. It's great, isn't it? There's so much more. I've even written it on there. Look. Says the
there is so much more that even we haven't done it all tonight.
Well, we haven't, to be honest. That just means it's foreplay for next week. And on that note, I'm going to say... Bisou. Thank you very much. Be very safe. Be very kind to everybody and yourselves. And thank you very much.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
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 Toodles. Bye-bye. Thank you. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.